Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today we're going to have another live paper crafting class, but this time we are live on YouTube. I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. This is the fourth or fifth live that I've done on YouTube before, but the advantages for me switching my lives over to YouTube are a few things. First of all, I can share all the information from my website/blog directly and right away after I'm done with this live. Everybody has access, so if you log into your YouTube account, you can actually comment, but if you don't want to do that or you don't have a YouTube account, you don't have to, and you can still view the live. So everybody has access to YouTube, which is awesome. The third reason is I'm easier to find. I know that in the past, when you do a Facebook Live, people have to wait till you're actually live on Facebook in order to catch you, and they might have to refresh their screen several times, and if I happen to be late for some reason, I can't warn them without having a separate post. But on YouTube Live, I can comment before my live actually happens, and everybody can be in the same spot. So I'm peeking over at my computer because I can see comments rolling in, which is so much fun. Oh, and I'm seeing so many familiar names that have been with me with my lives on Facebook in the past. So thank you everybody for tuning in for this live. I'm hoping that this will work out for you. The fourth reason is that I have a moderator, someone who is labeled, who you can see, who you can pick out in the crowd of all those comments. Her name is Trisha Josephs, and she is going to be helping me out. She's going to answer questions and respond to comments when they come around. She'll be filling you in with any extra information that I might forget to share, or any tidbits that she thinks is helpful. She's also going to help me draw a winner during the live towards the end. So make sure that you're commenting, make sure that you are participating, and if you share, comment that you share, because you can share directly from YouTube as well. So thank you. This is going to be so much fun. So again, just a reminder, make sure that you're logged into your YouTube account so that you can comment in the live. And I think we'll get rolling. This will help me too, to have Trisha with us, because that will make me not be so worried about making sure I catch questions as we go. So I'm going to dive in and focus on what I want to share with you today. So yes, if you guys see Trisha's name pop up, give a big welcome to her and give her some love. So let's see, a list of supplies. I'm going to share that with you next. Let me make sure that my computer is not going to be showing you what oh, there we go. It's working. It's working, Trisha. Remember when we practiced this yesterday? This is so awesome. So here we go. These are the supplies that you will need in order to recreate the projects, I should say, because we're going to do a collection of cards. In order to recreate them, you will need those things. And the things that are listed in red are the things that are recommended from the catalog to complete this particular card kit. It's a project kit called Gorgeous Posies, and I'll show it to you in a minute in our annual catalog. But you can see that the Gorgeous Posies stamp set's recommended: Blackberry Bliss ink pad, Gorgeous Grape ink pad, Highland Heather, and Blushing Bride. So there's 4 colors of inks that are recommended to complete the cards as instructed. Then you'll also need adhesives, and of course you need clear blocks in order to use the recommended stamp set. I'm going to be using C, D, and H just to keep it simple, but you could have different sizes. And the things that are not in red are things that I'm adding into my alternate cards. So I'm going to take and double this kit. I'm going to add some extra Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to add some extra envelopes, Whisper White envelopes, and we're going to turn these cards into twice as many. I love doing this with kits. I am a kit fanatic, as some of you know. Over here you can see the measurements that you would need for 32 cards total. Those are extra things. So, well, not necessarily extra things, but you need the Whisper White cardstock, and then you'll need the twine cut as shown in those measurements over there. So let's head over to my desktop. And oh, I did not adjust my camera yet. Let me zoom in a bit here. And we're going to shove this over a tad so that you can see the catalog. This is the annual catalog. This is the, oh, yummy, yummy collection of wonderful things that are currently available to all of us. So let me direct you to the first few pages where you will find right away the kits. So the kits begin on pages 6 and 7. These are some of my favorite kits. These are called Paper Pumpkin kits. It's a monthly subscription, which you can stop and start at any time. And I do alternates and share alternates on these kits 3 times a month on my website, which I should put up there. There we go. You can find me at stampyourartout.com. This kit I tripled the other day, just a few videos ago. You can find the Simply Citrus kit, and I took and tripled the number of cards that you could get from it. This is a kit that's been around before, and I actually had some alternates shared with that on my blog, so if you want to actually look for that, you can. This is the one we're going to do today. This is called a medley, which is a type of kit, and I will get to this because I own that as well. And I think that's it for the current kits in the annual catalog. But we're going to focus in on the gorgeous Posies kit, and you can see from the picture in the catalog the gorgeous cards that you can make from it. The stamp set is sold separately. It's shown below. Here are the recommended inks and supplies, adhesives I should say. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring in this first so you can see. This is the direction kit that comes, the direction pamphlet that comes with the kit, and inside you have these wonderful directions that are very simple and easy to read because they have numbers, and the numbers have codes. So you can then flip back to here and see what those codes mean. The directions are in multiple languages, so that helps a lot of us out. And you can see all 4 cards are shown there in a beautiful photograph of each. It comes in this gorgeous box. So then after you make the cards, you can either gift them to somebody in the box, or you can use this box for a decoration on your desk, or you can use it as a gift box for something else. But it is fantastic and beautiful, and it's got gold foiling on it, just like the cards. All right, so let me bring out, what was I going to share next? Oh, I was going to bring out the supplies that, oh, here they are. My desk is filled. Okay, these are the supplies that you get to make each card. So like an envelope, a card base, a card layer, and then the little elements. These are separated out according to the 4 different cards that you would make in the kit. Okay, that's what they look like. I'm going to make my picture just slightly smaller here. Hang on a minute. I have to do some manipulating. There we go. I shrunk. All right, so those are the supplies. And what I did is I mixed them up. I spread them around and divvied them up into different piles. And I came up with, by adding extra white cardstock and envelopes, twice as many cards. So these are the recommended supplies for adding. You would need a pack of Whisper white cardstock, or any kind of white cardstock will do. You can even use the thick, which I think I have on my first finished samples, but the thin, or not the thin, but the regular cardstock works just as well. And then we have the Whisper white medium envelopes. These are the same size as the envelopes that come in the kit. And you won't even be using all of these, so you'll have extra supplies left over. I think I figured it out to be about $1.18 per card rather than $2 per card, and that's in US prices if you don't count the shipping and tax. So, and if you don't count the extra supplies that you didn't need. So I just kind of figured that out per the supplies I used. And then these are also something that I used in the cards, and I don't have a lot left. I ordered some, but they haven't gotten here yet. These are gold glitter enamel dots, and of course the cards have gold foiling on them, so it's nice to add a little bit of extra embellishments to the cards that you're making as alternates. And this is the one that I recommend because it's glitzy and shiny and pretty, just like the cards. So gold glitter enamel dots. All right, I think we've moved what we don't need out of the way. Oh, one more thing is you get ribbon, this beautiful ribbon that has the gold thread running through it, and it's kind of like an organza ribbon. And then you get this beautiful Highland Heather twine. It's a very nice purple twine. Those items come in the kit, and you don't even use up all of them when you do the cards that I'm showing to you. So you'll have extra. I took and wound my ribbon onto a spool that I had left over, but it does come kind of wrapped. So it's got a few kinks in it, but if you just kind of wind it onto a round spool like this, it kind of relaxes and becomes a ribbon that it's much easier to use. This is the recommended stamp set, Gorgeous Posies. We'll be using this one, but I also decided that while I was making those alternate cards that it would be a little bit more fun to have some variations in the sentiments. So I'm adding in the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which has some outside and inside greetings. So I'll be using both of those stamp sets. In the first 4 that I show you though, I'll just be using the stamp set that's recommended. All right, one quick little lesson for anybody who's a beginning crafter is that you want to prepare your Whisper White cardstock. So we're going to take our Whisper White, which again you can get in thick or regular, and you're just going to cut it, and you're either going to cut it in half this way or you're going to cut it in half this way. Now if you're going to do 2 pieces at once, let's score first, because you can score across the whole middle portion of the sheet and then turn it and cut it in half to save you on time. So let's say we want long pieces that fold over. We're going to go ahead and score through the middle this way at 5.5 inches, which is half of 11 inches. And then we're going to lift up the handle on our trimmer and we're going to bring it in to the 4.25 inch mark. So you have 2 blades on your trimmer. You have a scoring blade, which I've labeled on mine. I put the word score on it so I don't make the mistake. And then you have the cutting blade, which is dark. The cutting blade is the only thing that you will need to replace over time. We're going to zoom out just a tad so you can see a little bit more there of that cardstock. So now we've got it positioned at the 4.25 inch mark, and we're just going to slice through, and now we have 2 cards. So we only had to score once and cut once, and we have 2 card bases ready to go in that direction. To do the other direction for your card bases, because some of them are portrait and some are landscape or horizontal and vertical, we're going to score first in this direction. So we'll use our scoring blade and score through both of them, and then we'll turn it this way at the 5.5 inch mark again, and we'll cut. And that way we have the landscape style cards ready to go. And a handy tool that you want to have ready with you when you are scoring is a bone folder. Now, if you've got nice strong fingernails, that's great. When I was younger, I used my fingernails all the time, but I am in love with this tool called a bone folder. So I highly recommend getting one of those if you don't have one. It's a nice tool. All right, here we go. Lots of prep work on that, right? Okay, so we're going to take our first set of supplies, and this is what we'll be using. So we'll be using an envelope from the kit, and we'll be using the green card base. We'll be using this long label here and these little pieces. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. All right, so for our card base, make sure, and I'm laughing a little bit because I made the mistake. It's actually on this first sample too, which I'll show you in a minute. But make sure that your opening is at the bottom. All right, we're going to grab the stamp in the kit that looks like this. It's got little speckles in it. And we're going to grab the long sentiment. Now, I forgot, I'm so bad at this, I forgot to put my, my labels on my stamps. You actually get labels with your stamps so that when they are clinging to your block, you can read them. And I didn't do that, so forgive me. Here are the inks. This is the one that we're going to use for this card. It's called Gorgeous Grape. We're actually going to use soft sea foam too. So let's set our Gorgeous Grape up here, and because I don't have the label on my stamps, I'm going to do a quick little check. In fact, I'll push this up a little higher so we can do our check at the bottom. I'm just going to check to make sure that when I stamp this, it's going to look fairly straight, and it does. So yay. So now I know I can come in. It would have helped to put a label on, Rachel. Yes, I know. So now we're going to come in, and you've got 2 sides here. You've got one side, I want to show you this too. You've got one side that doesn't have the laser cut burning look on it, and then the other side which does. It's a little bit more brownish in the cut areas. You can see that it's been laser cut. So you can choose either side, whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. I've got the finished one over here that you don't see yet, I've got that with just the whitish side up. So let's stamp that down, and we're done with that portion. And then for the little dots, we're going to open up our soft seafoam color, and we'll have that ready. So let's take our label, and again, make sure the opening's at the bottom. Put your label where it's going to go, and then position your other pieces. I think I want it up here a little bit. We're going to put our flowers like this. Flower and leaves, I should say. Flower and leaves. And so I think I want to make sure I come in with my green ink about here. So you see how I just kind of shoved it out of the way because I didn't want to stamp onto my pieces. So then we can bring them on back. Make sure that they look good where you have them. And I think I'm also going to put a few little speckles down here. So I'm going to come in and just kind of stamp kind of in this area here. Okay, so now we can set this aside, set the stamps aside, and we can start layering. Super easy to put together cards with kits. I recommend kits. If you are a beginning paper crafter, you've never done this before, or you've done it very little, kits are an awesome way to begin because most everything is included. In fact, we do have some all-inclusive kits, and that means that the stamps and the inks and the adhesives all come in that kit. So what I'm putting on now are called dimensionals, and you can easily pop up a piece. I'm going to put a dimensional, I think, like right here, and peel off the backing or release paper, and we'll just set that flower right on top like that. And I think I'm going to put these leaves down lower. So we have this new adhesive, and this new adhesive is called Seal. We have Seal and Seal Plus, and Seal is a little less strong but much stronger than our old snail adhesive. And you can tell the difference when you use it. It's incredible. When you use Seal adhesive, and I'll do it on a scrap over here because it's darker. So when you use it, the tip that I have to share with you, because last week during my live I was having trouble again and I just kept on researching. I found a gal named Beck Ross. She is a fellow demonstrator who made a how-to video for using Seal adhesive, and I am so very grateful. Shout out to you, Beck. Thank you so much. BEC ROSS. You can find her on YouTube and look up her Seal, SEAL adhesive video. It's excellent. So you're going to put your seal down. Oh, I got to get it started, I guess, because it must have not been started right the first time. So you're going to put it down on your paper, and you're going to... It does work, I promise you. I was using her techniques before. Okay, I just have to roll it forward a bit to get it going here again. So you're rolling it, and then instead of like check marking or pulling straight because you don't want to get the gooeys, is you're just going to pull it up like this and flick it back. So I'll do that again. You're going to pull, and then you're going to tip and flick that way. Now that was not a smooth one, but pull and tip and flick it that way. That one worked out really well. So it cuts it off without making the tape that it sits on, the plastic part that it sits on, it won't shift back and forth like check marking does. Some of you have been taught that in the past, where you go like this and then you check mark it off to the side, and what happens is your adhesive pulls in either direction. Pretty soon you have a mess. So you're just going to pull, and you're going to tip it and flick back that way, so it cuts it off at the source, and you're still able to come back in and start again. So can we see that again? So I just wanted to give you that little tip. Now I'm still working on using my Seal adhesive with my tinier pieces like this, but I'm getting in the motion of tipping and flicking. So that's my advice to all of you, and it's going to save you on some headaches that I experienced. Okay, so now that I have that with my own adhesive, I am loving it. You know what? I think I'm going to bring this guy over a bit if I can. Let's shift him. I didn't want him quite there. There we go. Now we can see a few more of those dots, and that is almost finished. The last part is to tie some twine. And for this card, I believe I recommended, yes, 8 inches of twine. So we're just going to measure it out on our grid paper. You actually have a ruler down there on your grid paper. We'll grab our snips and we'll tie a bow. And you can tie your bow any way that's comfortable to you. You could tie a knot first. You could use those bow tying little things that are out there that are like little sticks in you know, those, they're awesome. If you're having trouble with bow tying, let me know, and maybe I can connect you with a couple friends of mine who sell some great tools to help with that. But we're going to go ahead and add this with a glue dot. So we're just going to take one of these glue dots here, and because our twine is very thin, we're going to roll it. We're going to roll the glue dot, and then we're going to pick it up so it's nice and narrow, and we're going to add it by shoving it right into the base of this flower so it kind of disappears in there like that. Okay, and I would work with that a little bit more to move it where I want, but here is the other card that I did, and let me show you. This one opens this way, okay? So my unique friends will experience that card if I send it to them. All right, next card. So now we're gonna work on this piece. Now the last 4 cards are the fastest. So you'll look at the time right now and you'll be like, she only got through 1 card so far? I promise you that it'll get faster. We're gonna go ahead and open up our Blushing Bride color, which matches this color of the card base, and I'll zoom out just a tad. Oh, that's not a tad. There we go. All right, so these are the pieces that we're going to use for this card, and we're using an extra envelope, one of our Whisper White envelopes. Make sure it's open to the bottom, and we're going to stamp our sentiment using our Blackberry Bliss color this time. So we're using 2 ink colors on this one as well. This one says, for a very kind and thoughtful friend. And again, if you want to, you can practice next to a line on your grid paper. Grid paper is handy. If you don't have it, it's something that I recommend you get. It's got all those measurements on it. It's just a very helpful tool. Okay, so we've stamped our sentiment. We can close this up and move it out of the way. And then we're going to take and stamp with the little guy that looks like this. So it looks like a cluster of 3 tiny flowers. And we'll stamp that one. I believe I actually stamped that one off. Now I'm not sure, but I'm going to stamp it off just to be on the safe side. Let's lay our sentiment piece where we want it to go, and I want to have a little cluster of flowers here. So stamping off, or second generation ink, is where you remove the first generation of ink, and then you stamp down with a lighter color. And yes, I did stamp off on my original. So I have a slightly lighter color than what it could have been. And then I'm going to have some clusters of flowers around this area here. So I'm just going to kind of position a couple of them here so I know where I'm at. And we're going to come in and do a stamp off and come over here and just stamp a cluster of flowers. I think that's going to work. And then we're going to stamp off again and come up here and throw some into this little area. Okay, so it doesn't have to be exact. One thing to note when you're making cards with flowers is flowers are not exact. They're all unique and different. And so if you do not have something in a measured space, you should still be okay. We're going to grab those dimensionals again, and we're going to pop our sentiment piece up with them. This is a smaller sentiment. I probably could have gotten away with maybe two dimensionals on here, but I don't know, I was being generous, I guess. I was doing a Nancy, if anyone knows Nancy, my friend Nancy. She loves dimensionals. I don't know if you're watching, Nancy, but I just wanted to share some love for you. Okay, so that gets stamped, or that gets put there. Let's go ahead and put a dimensional under this flower, and this time I'm going to put it directly under the flower because it's going to be further away from this piece. So that's going to get set kind of like around there. And the rest of these get placed on with the seal adhesive, or I could even do glue dots if I have a smaller space. So I'm going to put my adhesive on, and you know what, I'm going to do glue dots for the other ones because they're tinier. So we're going to tuck in here. I'm going to move it up a bit. We're going to tuck in there. We're going to tuck in here. And then for glue dots, for tinier pieces, this is really a nice, easy way to add something. So you stick your piece onto the glue dot roll to pick it up, and then you just tuck it where you want it. I'm going to lift this up here. So that's going to get tucked about there. And then this one, same thing. Stick it on there like that. Lift up the glue dot as you pull the piece. And then this one is going to be put off to the side here. Now on this card, I thought it would be best, I'm going to shift this a little bit here. I thought it would be best to put on some gold glitter enamel dots. I looked at this afterwards and I said, there's just a little tiny bit of gold in there, but I think I need more. So that's where I brought in the glue dots, or I'm sorry, the gold enamel dots, gold glitter enamel dots. We'll use the full name, Rachel. And I just started adding them. And you can add them using a tool. Some of the larger ones are easier to grab with my fingernails, so I'm just doing that real quick right now. And then we're going to use our take your pick tool, or you could even use your paper snips, and we're going to lift up one of these tiny ones, and we're just going to set it right here because the sentiment piece needs to have a tiny little accent as well. So there's that finished card. That one looks the same as my original, so I don't need to show the original. Okay, next card. This one is going to be using the purple envelope that comes in the kit. The purple base, or purple posy, I should say. This base is one of our lightest purples. Beautiful color. We're going to be using 3 of the purple flowers, which are in a Highland Heather color, 3 leaves, and this sentiment piece, which we will be stamping in Gorgeous Grape. So we'll grab our Gorgeous Grape ink, and we're going to stamp that down. Again, you have 2 sides. You have a side that is not as lasery affected, and the other side has some brownish tones where the cuts are. Your choice on which one you want to have showing. I'm going to stamp this directly in the middle. I'm trusting that I'm going to get it straight, and I did fairly well. Another ink that we're going to pull in for this card is our Highland Heather ink. So we're going to grab that really quickly, open that up, and we're going to use our stamp that looks like a branch piece. So let's lay our pieces where we want them again. I'm going to kind of have this in the middle here. Flowers are going to kind of go here and here and here. And then we do the stamping that we want on our paper, and I think it's going to come right out of this area. And then we're also going to put some, I think coming down here. So we'll do one that's tucked about there. They look kind of like antlers, don't they? Oh well. They're actually going to look great after the card is put together, I promise you. But at first I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like I have antlers on my card. I was really worried about it. Okay, so this piece is going to get popped up on dimensionals. I'm going to click on my computer here. I'm real curious to see how oh, hi everybody. This is so fun. I haven't been looking at the comments, but I will read them afterwards. Something that is a disadvantage for people who are doing lives on their own without a moderator is I can't go back and answer questions. So Trisha, I see you, and I thank you so much for being my moderator, my person who's helping everybody out as we go. Okay, so this is going to get set down here. She is a blessing to me. She has been a demonstrator on my team, one of the longest out of my team. She's been with me for a long, long time. And I am so grateful to her technology experiences. She is like super computer savvy. Well, she won't say that. Her husband is. and she learns a lot from him and helps our group out a lot. Okay, so I put dimensionals on the back of 2 of these flowers. I'm going to pop this one down here, and I'm going to pop this one up in the corner on the right, like that. She's probably blushing right now. Oops, I want it down just a little bit lower. I'm going to put it right there because this one, which I put some seal adhesive on, I'm going to tuck right there. And then I think, again, the glue dots were so much easier with these tinier pieces, so I'm going to pull in the glue dots and stick those coming out here and there from the flowers. Aren't these cards coming out just great? And really, with 3 things, just the gold glitter enamel dots and the Whisper White envelopes and cardstock, it is just amazing that you can actually triple the cards in the kit. We're going to tuck one under here just to kind of have a hidden little piece of glimmer. We're going to put one on the O because that's fun. It's always fun to accent your letters on your cards. So stick one in the middle of the O, and then we'll do, I don't know, we'll just do one here and maybe another one a little closer in. So there is your next card. All right, let's do our last one that has our card bases. And again, these are the ones that are taking the most time because we do a lot of stamping on them. But for this one, we're using the Whisper White envelope. We're using the Blushing Bride card base and the circle sentiment piece. We're going to stamp that in our Blackberry Bliss color. I'm going to close up the Highland Heather, get that out of the way so we don't accidentally stamp in it. We're going to stamp Get Well Soon from the kit, or from the stamp that matches the kit, I should say. And because it's a circle, all you have to do is make sure that that thing is centered when you stamp it down, okay? You can rotate it and make it look the way it needs to look, make it look upright or whatever afterwards. The next ink color that we're using is the Blushing Bride, and we're going to pull in our flower and our leaves, and those look like this. So this one here and this one here. And we're going to place that in the middle of our card. So then you just kind of like imagine, I think we'll stamp off on this too. You imagine those flowers kind of peeking out here and there, and I think we're going to have one here. Oh, I probably could have used full ink on that, but that's okay. I'm going to stamp off on all of these, and then I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, so we've got a couple flowers there. We've got one there. Stamping off or second generation, okay? So I've added flowers here and there like that. Hope I'm staying in the screen here. Let me push this up a bit. It helps me to have the grid paper on the table because it makes me to kind of know where the middle point is here. So we're still good, right? Okay, we're going to stamp onto our leaves, or stamp our leaves on there now. Again, stamping off, putting a leaf here and there. I think we'll have one up here. And maybe we'll have, you know, I'm going to leave it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. Okay, next, we're going to bring in that ribbon. So the ribbon, we want about 12 inches of it. So I'm using my ruler at the bottom of my grid paper here. And we're going to snip it off. You could probably use less, maybe even 10 inches. In fact, I probably might even cut this down. We'll see. But you're just going to do a loop-de-loop like this. So you're kind of like ribbon candy, which we talked about another time. So you're looping back and forth, and then you're laying it down on your card like that. So what we need to do is we need to come in with our adhesive, and this is where maybe a stronger adhesive might come in handy. This is our Stamp and Seal Plus, and so I am going to use that just kind of as a guarantee that my ribbon will stay in place. So I'm just adding a little bit of that Seal Plus. I've got some, I don't know what that is, lint in there, but you can see how the Seal Plus looks a little bit different. It's got little strips of adhesive on it. So we're going to lay this down and lay this down And I think I'm going to have to probably come in with another bit of adhesive on the top of this. Oh, maybe right here. And it's okay. It's all going to be underneath the sentiment piece, so you won't see this stuff. But there, now we have some loop-de-loops. Loop-de-loops. All right, and we're going to bring our dimensionals on in. And I would cover this one a little bit more because we have adhesive that is on those ribbons, and you want to make sure that your sentiment piece doesn't like pop down and get distorted. So you want to have a good, strong dimensional base. Peeling off all the release papers from that. And this is going to get set in the middle, like so. And then we'll use our gold glitter enamel dots again and come in with a couple fun little, oops. Okay, hang on. I should probably use my take your pick tool. We're going to come in with a few gold glitter enamel dots here just to add a little bit more glitz to it. It just kind of helps to hold on to things if you have this tool. It's not a necessary tool, but it's nice. It's just kind of like our Stamp and Scrub and Mist. You can clean off your stamps with maybe like a washcloth that's damp, but I think it's important to eventually collect those things. Like the Stamp and Scrub has tiny little finger like cleaner things in it, so you can really make sure that you're getting in the grooves of your stamp. All right, so there is that finished card compared to the one that I did originally. So you can see this one I stamped off on, this one I used full color. So that's the difference between the two. We're moving on, but first we're going to do a cleanup thing, which is why I mentioned the Stamp and Scrub. We're going to move our cleanup pad into the camera a bit. It's going to cause a little bit of, oh, it's not doing it, which is awesome. Yay! Sometimes my cleanup pad makes the camera go all wonky, but it's not. So we're going to spray some mist onto one side, and we're going to leave the other side dry. We're going to come in, and you might see a little bit of movement of my camera. That is because I have not attached my, my holder, which holds my camera, where I want it to be yet. It's going to be attached to the ceiling eventually, but with the quarantine, the pandemic going on, we are not having my parents down here, and I'm glad. I want them to stay healthy and safe. So we're just cleaning these all off. You just kind of scrub and dry. Some of them I think I forgot to dry, which is why my hand is wet. So scrub and dry. You can see it cleans it off really quickly. Scrub and dry. And then we're going to move over to a different stamp set, which is why I'm cleaning these. Now you wouldn't have to clean them if you're going to go ahead and use them again, especially if you're using them in the same color. But we are probably not. So we're going to move them back off camera here. And we're going to pull in our new stamp set. This one's called Peaceful Moments. So let's go ahead and gather up the stamps that we will need for this. We're going to need our Happy Birthday. We're going to need our Thinking of You with all my heart. We're going to need our Thank You. We're going to need our Congratulations. And then the insides, let's see, I need this Happiness one. I'm peeking over here, sorry you guys. I need this one here. These moments, and I think the other one does, yep, that one does not. So we're not making a sympathy one today, although I'm so grateful that that sentiment is in there because I have had to use that a lot lately and it's making me sad. Okay, so we just mounting our stamps real easily. I just mount them. I kind of mount them at an off angle. I don't want them to be straight on the block sometimes because otherwise I'm relying on the sides of the block. And then I'm thinking about the size of the block too much instead of where my image actually is. All right, so we've got those all mounted. And we're going to flip them upright, put them off to the side so we can see what the images say. And we're going to go in with our 4 last cards, which are super quick. So this next one uses a Whisper White card base and this piece. and a vertical or portrait white card base. So we've got our white card base ready. We're going to stamp Happy Birthday with our Blackberry Bliss stamp. So you can see, I mean, seriously, this is so super easy. You just take and stamp on this. It's amazing, but so easy to double the cards in this kit. Now this one here, I'm just going to test out again because I didn't put the label on. So I'm shoving it up so you guys can see it too. That's pretty darn straight. So we'll stamp that down here. And this gets mounted onto, oops. I don't even want to tell you guys what happened over here. You know that seal that I was practicing with? Some cards stuck to it. Oh, I should have put that away. I'm putting it behind me. Hold on. Getting it out of the way. Okay, and then for this, we're going to put it up on dimensionals. Before we actually stick it down onto our card base though, we're going to do something important. All right, set that aside. The sentiment that's going to go with this is wishing you every happiness on this special day, or this special day will bring. So that one's going to get stamped on the inside, but if I make it crooked, and you know what, I think I'm going to do it on purpose. If I make it crooked and I don't like it, watch. Oh, in fact, I got ink on my fingers. We definitely don't want that card base, and hopefully that won't show. It probably will. Darn it. Don't tell anyone. Shh, it's a live video, but don't tell anyone. All right, so this way, and especially if I don't have that smudge there, I can just take and stamp again on the inside, and this part can cover that up. Now, because I got a smudgy, I'm grabbing a new card base. Shh. I told you guys not to tell anyone. So we're going to do that one more time, making sure my fingers are free of ink here. Alrighty, Rachel. Open it up, stamp it down. I like it. Super simple card. Probably the easiest one in the whole darn collection of these. But this layer just does it by itself. You don't even have to do much to make this a pretty card. So there's that card. Super easy, right? Next one. This one's using, again, the same base, or the same ink. So we're going to keep our Blackberry Bliss ink out. We're going to turn this one horizontal, or landscape. So we're using a card base that is the same style. It opens on the bottom. We're going to stamp this with, let's move those off to the side. Thinking of you with all my heart. This one does not have anything stamped on the inside. I'm going to do a test. Let me test it. Test it up here so you guys can see it. That works. I really should have put my labels on my stamps, right, you guys? Forgive me. All right, then we put these up on dimensionals. If you just put a dimensional in each corner, that is all you need to give the illusion that the whole layer is up on dimensionals. If the corners pop up, that works. And it actually helps you out too. Like if you were to put something in the middle on dimensionals, then you'd have one layer of dimensionals there, you'd have one layer on the sides, and it would go through the mail a lot easier. So this card just looks like this when it's done. Super quick, right? All right, so that's set. And then we have the next one, which is this one here. It also uses the Blackberry Bliss ink. We'll keep that out. We're using this envelope with that one. And we're using the portrait. Now you could, let's say you cut your cardstock wrong or whatever. I could turn this way and just have my card open up like this, because cards can open that way too. So just know that, you know, you don't have to throw away your cardstock if you mess up. There's always ways to correct the mistakes. As a lot of us paper crafters who've been doing this for a while know. This one I'm going to turn this way, and I'm going to stamp with the thank you stamp. Let's do a practice run, Rachel. That works pretty well. These sentiments are very scrolly and whimsy looking. I mean, they just have kind of a flair to them. So you don't have to worry about it looking too straight because it doesn't have that blocked geometrical kind of design to it. Do you know what I mean? So this is going to get set on there with dimensionals. Again, we'll pop it up on dimensionals. This one's also going to get stamped on the inside. So we want to stamp the inside of our card base before we actually mount this on. So set that off to the side, Rachel. Don't do it yet. And this one's going to get stamped on the inside with a sentiment that says, you shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did it. This will be a practice one too. Let's practice that one over here. That works. So that's going to get stamped here. And this will get put onto this, but I think that like the words in this one have a little bit too much space around them. So this is one where I did bring in a little bit of embellishing, and I used the gold glitter enamel dots on this. So again, Rachel, grab your take your pick tool. So we just added a few little bits of gold down here to kind of fill in that space. Oops, do I have it? There it is. It just kind of fills in that space down there a little bit more. So there's that one. And then the last card is with these pieces here. So we're going to use an envelope from the kit. We're going to use the landscape base. We're going to stamp right now. Let's stamp right now the inside. And for this one, I thought it looked best with the, where's that ink? Gorgeous Grape ink. So we're going to open that one up and stamp. We got things clinging. This is one where, again, I can't, because I didn't put the label on, I can't see if it's going to be straight or not. So let us do a practice. This is going to be a harder one to get straight, I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Rachel. So this one we might actually go like this. We might actually rely on the block. Let's rely on the block. Stamp it down. That looks pretty good. Okay. So when you don't put your label on, you may have to rely on the edges of your block for straightness. And then we'll come in with our congratulations, and our congratulations is going to go on this piece here. We'll stamp that towards the top, like, that'll work. We'll stamp that towards the top like this. And in the measurements that I gave you at the beginning, you may have seen that I wrote down, I think I said, and I want to pull it up again so I say it right. I said 10 inches or more, right? So this is where the more comes in. Let's grab our ruler on our grid paper. So this is 10 inches. You're going to have extra twine left over. So if you want to do something like this, where you wrap it around a few times, you could totally. So we're going to do that on this one. We're just going to wrap it a couple times, right around where that gold vertical line is. We're going to tie it in a knot. Am I still in camera view? Gosh, we have a lot of words on here. There we go. Is that better? Less distracting? So we're going to tie it in a knot. Don't worry about it being in the place that you need it yet. Just make sure your ends are even. And then you can take and kind of curve it, position it where you want it to be. You can even spread out the twine like that. And then you can come in and do your bow, or you can leave it in a knot. If you're somebody that does not like to do bows, you don't have to. You can just do knots, right? This one's going to get popped up on dimensionals. And we are almost done. Can you guys believe it? We did 8 cards. So 8 times 4, because you actually get the same set of supplies in the kit, times 4. We did those 8 cards, and again, multiplied by 4, you're going to get 32 cards. So there is another card. This is the one that I did with just 10 inches of ribbon. I'm going to zoom out a bit here. I want you to see them all. We'll move our envelopes out of the way because you don't need those in the final image here, but at least we'll be able to see. Zoom out a bit here. At least you'll be able to see them kind of all at a glance, which is what I do on my Facebook Lives, because when you freeze a Facebook Live, you have like this image that you have at the end that you kind of save for your videos. I don't need to do that for my YouTube Lives, but I still want to show them to you all at once because they are so much fun. Let's put this one down here. Put this one over here. Got to get zoomed out just a tad bit more maybe. Okay, so there's all the cards at once. I'm going to bring in a little bit more of something. Hang on. So there are these supplies that you get that are left over when you're done. You're going to have a ton of extra supplies. You can make even more cards. So take a quick glance at those. They will be on my blog soon after this video is done. The link is already in the description, and it will go live around 12:15 Central Time. But do you see this paper? This is new paper. This is going to be in our upcoming holiday, August through December catalog. It is called Plush Poinsettia Specialty Paper. And just look at this one here. It does not necessarily scream Christmas, right? These are more Christmassy looking. But this one could be cut into sections and layered onto even more Whisper White cardstock. And you could totally get, 8 more cards. You could. And I didn't take a picture of this, so this you might want to just keep in your head. But look at this. You could even get 9 more cards. Oh my gosh, you could get 9 more cards out of this. Just divvy up the flowers differently with that beautiful, it's a velvety feel. With this background, your cards are going to be embellished enough without having, you don't have to have like all these extras on there. You don't have to stamp it. You know what I mean? You can even just have a couple leaves coming out. It's fantastic. So just know, I'm throwing these all on here now, sorry. But just know that you're going to have extras left over from the kit. And so I just thought this paper was perfect for it because it's just a subtle background. If you were to put it against a white card base, do you see that? Do you see how pretty that is? It's just got a little bit of subtleness to it, and you can whip out 8 or 9 extra cards. So 32 plus 9, what's that? 41. Hello. That's pretty cool. Prizes. It's prize time. So hang on. Let me pull out our prizes from last week. Now I can't show you the whole entire prize from last week when we did our, what was it? It was a Peony Center Step card, and I had it go along with the introduction to a tutorial that my group had put out that day or a couple days before or whatever. And so part of the prize is the actual card that I made for the tutorial, which is exclusive to those people that get to the tutorial. You can earn the tutorial by purchasing $50 or more worth of product, and you can definitely shop on my website at stampyourartout.com. So that's one way to get it, or you can purchase it in my tutorials for sale section. So if you're already a demonstrator or you have a demonstrator, please give your orders to them. But yes, you can still have access to those tutorials. So you get a card. Oops, let me show you the desktop here. So you get a card, the exclusive card, in addition to the beautiful Elegant Faceted Gems as your prize. And we already have those prize winners picked out. I'm going to share with you my computer screen. So congratulations to Cindy and Cindy. I drew 2 Cindys. I don't know how that works. But randomly, out of 248 people, Cindy Albert Zenafio, I'm going to guess it's that way. You won from the Facebook comments that have been left since I broadcasted. And then Cindy, here's an even harder name. Oh my gosh, Rachel. I should practice these beforehand. Vrendenberg, I'm guessing that. I don't know. But out of 92 comments left on YouTube, and this is in the comment section, it wasn't a live. So yes, I drew your name, and I love your comment. When I pulled up your name, I was like, oh, yay, super comment. So congratulations to you two people. You need to contact me though. I am not going to be able to find you sometimes, or if I even comment after your comment on YouTube Live, sometimes you don't see it. So please, if you see your name pop up, will you reach out to me so I can get your prize to you? If you live out of the US, I can always send you a card. So I know I can't send product, but I can always send you a card. What's the prize for today? Let's go back to the desktop and pull that out. So we have new products that are being released. We have that beautiful paper that I just shared with you, and I've got a 6x6 swatch of it. And then one of my most favorite papers in the new upcoming catalog is this one here. That catalog, by the way, debuts August 4th. And this one is a gorgeous set of plaid papers. Oh, so 6x6 samples of all of those are for the prize winners for today's live. And Trisha is going to announce that. I don't know if she already has or not, but I'm going to try to catch it here. She's going to announce the winner in our, did she do it? Let's see. The winner, yes. Okay, awesome. Linda Gring. Yay, congratulations to you, Linda. So Linda, you'll want to reach out to me because again, I have no way of commenting or finding you back within the live comments. So you're gonna have to reach out to me. You can contact me through my website, stampyourartout.com. You can, I should put my email address up there, but I don't have a little thingamajigger. It's stampyourartout@comcast.net. So you can reach out to me that way as well, or you can find me through Facebook or whatever, but hopefully you'll be able to reach out to me and grab me and contact me so that I can get your prizes to you. And I think we covered it all. Trisha, I am so very grateful to you. This went almost an hour. I'm so sorry, everybody. Details will be on my blog within 15 minutes. And what else do I want to mention? Enjoy the kit. If you need these products, again, you can shop at my website at stampyourartout.com. Otherwise, shop from yourself if you're a demonstrator, or shop from your demonstrator if you have one. We're going to see you again next week on YouTube. Did I say Facebook Live? Sorry, YouTube. We're going to see you next week at 11 a.m. Central Time on July 15th. Hope to see you there when I share a new project idea. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out.